Welcome back to the Montreal Canadiens GM mode. And we open this video with the retirement screen. So let's look at all the skaters that have retired. Retired players, Jaromir Jagr off the books. For the Colorado Avalanche, he goes out shy of 1,500 games played, 1 goal shy of 700. Remember that in the Calgary Flames GM mode, we did sign Jaromir Jagr. I don't know if he retired as a Flame. I think he did. So Jagr's gone. Teemu Selanne, a former Colorado Avalanche, retires, of course, as a Duck, and he is just shy of 700 goals scored as well. Hammerleak as a free agent. Ray Whitney, the Wizard, gone. Retires as a Star. Ryan Smith appropriately retires as an Edmonton Oiler, as well as Daniel Alfredsson, one of the all-time greatest Ottawa Senators players ever. Very likable person. Sergei Gonchar is out. Chris Pronger retired with the Rangers. Jason Arnott retires as a free agent. Vinny Prospal with the Blue Jackets. Hal Gill. We remember my gripes that I had with Hal Gill in the Nashville series in that season mode. Todd Bertuzzi, don't have to put up with him anymore. Patrick Elias with the Devils. Lots of names. Chara already retired. So we played one season of the NHL 14 GM mode, the 13-14 season, and Chara is retired as a Bruin. That didn't take very long. I thought Chara would stick around for longer than that. Morris Acoin, Kimmo Timonen, well-liked Flyer. So many names coming off the board already. Sullivan, Milan Hajduk off the Avalanche. Keep going down here. So there's just so many names to go over. Oh, good. Matt Cook retired. Oh, that's a nice sign. Who was it? Savard? He can't injure Savard anymore. I mean, I guess Savard would be... He's not in the game, but... Yeah, a bunch of notable names. Oh, Bouillon. There we go. I was looking for Canadiens players. So Bouillon retires after 804 games played. I don't actually know how old Bouillon was. Was it Bouillon that I was concerned about age-wise? I thought there was someone else on our back end that was... getting quite up there in age. Is that Sammy Kapanen? Sammy Kapanen. So, true story. When I was about 6 years old or so, that was my introduction to the NHL roughly around the year 2000. And my first ever favorite player in the NHL, I'm pretty sure, was Sammy Kapanen. So, I have a personal love for Sammy Kapanen because I remember him as a Hurricane, and he finally retires after 757 games played as a free agent. So just a true little story there for you. So many names to go over already in Season 1. I just want to go. We're now sub 500 games. Not that there aren't any notable players under 500 games played, but yeah, we're getting down there now to the bottom of the crop of skaters. We'll look at the goaltenders now. Where are the goalies? Oh, there we go. There's the goaltenders. Look at the goalies. Who retired? Khabibulin. Not a surprise. That one's not surprising. Nabokov. I guess that's not surprising. These guys are definitely, I know, up there in age. I don't know the exact age, but yeah, these guys are definitely getting up there. And I mean, you see that for Khabibulin. The Bulin Wall. 795 games played in the NHL. That's a lot of games for a goaltender. He had 46 shutouts in his career. So with that being said, there's the retired players. I just want to get on with this video. I just got to get the retired players screen in the video, just so it's in there. I just got to get it in there, right? But now, this is where things get really fun, maybe for the viewers. It definitely makes the offseason more exciting, at least the first 2 offseasons that we're going to do here. Season 2 offseason and Season 3 offseason include created players by me that I created for the game mode. So let's sort this by potential. Did the game sort it? Yes, it did. It just took forever to sort it. Thank you, EA Sports. This is not a PS3 problem. This is an EA Sports problem. It's been like that for a while. So, Sam Reinhart, obviously not a created player. He is a real-life guy that is in the game, available to be drafted. He's projected to go in the first round. We'll just pull up his scouting report because we can. God, this is slow today. It is really slow today. So there's Sam Reinhart. That's the scouting report on Sam Reinhart. Probably going to go, did it say in the top 5? It just says first round. Probably, maybe not top 5. He might go in the top 5. Top 10, definitely a first round pick. There's one of my created players, Axel Arnersson. And Axel Arnersson, there's the scouting report. I don't know how many times. We've scouted him twice. 2 scouting visits. We need to spend way more time checking this guy out. Now, I want to point out, wait a minute. It doesn't show his nationality. This guy is from Iceland. I'm pretty sure this is my Icelandic defenseman. That was total. Everything was random for these defensemen, by the way. Everything was random. What was I going to say? So he may be Icelandic, but I could only put players for prospects anyway. I could only put them in the WHL or the OHL. That was my only 2 choices of leagues. So they could only go to the Canadian Junior League, to the OHL. They could not go to the Q. They would not allow me to put them in the Q. But underage players could go to the O and the W. I don't know what league he's playing in, but he's playing Canadian Junior Hockey. This is the stats, the scouting report for Arnersson, the defenseman. Projected to go, I think it's set in the top 5. Yeah, he's top 5, and my God, this game is slow today to pull up everything that I want to look at. So I just want to look at any notable names or created players. So that's what we're going to focus on. Baye, Tyson Baye. Why does his name sound familiar? Oh, I know why this name sounds familiar. I'm pretty sure that we drafted him in the Calgary Flames GM mode and we traded him to Boston for Tyler Seguin. That's why that name is familiar. Mistel, however you pronounce this, projected top 10. I'm not going to look at the stats because it just takes too long to go into the scouting report and then back out of it. So if I go to Arnersson, it still doesn't show his nationality, but he's playing for Everett in the WHL. So there you go. That's where Axel Arnersson is, offensive defenseman. We got Su Kai Ming. This is one of my favorite created players. I've said this before. I think this is the first random created player I made for the game was Su Kai Ming. Everything about this guy, his nationality, randomized. His name, randomized. His height, weight, everything randomized. My favorite part about Su Kai Ming, wait a minute. I thought it was, oh, well, it says 6 feet, but I listed him, he was supposed to be listed as 5'11", basically the same height as Sidney Crosby. 187 pounds, left shot, center, 2-way forward, wears the number 87. His jersey number is random. He's basically the Singapore version of Sidney Crosby. We'll have to wait to see how true that is. And these are his scouted stats. Now, he's projected to go, I think, a little later in the first round. He's been scouted more than 3 times, I believe, by our scout, who has a rating of B for scouting the nation of Canada. This is, I was about to say, why would Canada matter? Because he's playing in the Canadian Junior League, you dummy. But this is the scouted stats for Su Kai Ming. Could the Ming Dynasty be coming to Montreal? We're going to find out in this episode. Caleb Johnson, American right-handed sniper out of the WHL with Kootenay. Did I show Su Kai Ming? He's playing with Medicine Hat in the WHL. 2-way forward, left shot. Caleb Johnson. He is our American-born created player. And these are the stats that we've scouted on Caleb Johnson, the attributes, what have you. This is as much as our scout could uncover in more than 3 visits. And I haven't really been showing the potential that's been scouted. This is not necessarily the actual potential. This is just what our scout has uncovered. Su Kai Ming, 4-star, 4 green star, 4 green star for Caleb Johnson. Axel Arnersson, 4.5 green star. I mean, that guy's definitely going in the top 5. By the way, I may just touch more on this at the draft, but we're obviously not going to have a top 5, top 10 pick to begin with because we just won the Stanley Cup. So I am looking to trade up in the draft and move up in the draft, but not into the top 10. Whoever's drafting in the top 10, they get to luck out and they get whoever these players are that are available in the first year draft of created players. So there's a notable. Roland McEwen. I just remember this guy when he was a prospect. Joshua Ho-Sang. Man, this guy turned out to be, I don't know, kind of a bust. I don't really have an opinion. This is the one that I regret. So I forgot about Leon Draisaitl. And we did scout him. This is Leon Draisaitl. I forgot to edit Leon Draisaitl. I could have done it, and I could have made his potential a lot better. So he kind of turns into a superstar stud like he is today. But I for whatever reason, I forgot about Draisaitl. He's just going to be what he's going to be. Now, I did edit McDavid. I want to point that out. I did edit McDavid. Aaron Ekblad, we know what a juiced-up beast Aaron Ekblad. You see how long the screen takes? I'm not editing this one out. Aaron Ekblad turned into a juiced-up beast for the Calgary Flames. In our Flames GM mode, we did draft Aaron Ekblad in that GM mode. I don't know if it's going to happen this time around, but I think if he's on the board, we definitely have to throw a dart at that player if he's available. And there you go, Loic Arnaud. We haven't scouted him. We've scouted him one time. That's why we don't have a good read on this guy. He's supposed to be a lot better than whatever our scout projected him to be. This is as much as we've uncovered, and you can tell it's not a lot. This is a right-handed, left wing. It doesn't show it on this screen. I think he's a sniper. The French sniper, 6'2", 192 pounds, 18 years old. And no, he's a playmaker. Playmaker playing with London out of the OHL. There you go. This might be it for all the skaters that I created for the Season 2 draft. This is basically the Season 2 draft that's coming up. Yeah, that's it for all the skaters. I checked. Now the goaltenders. So is it just one goaltender that I created? I think it's just the one goaltender that I created that is available. Wapple. What a last name that is. Wapple. So, Noah Josent out of Norway. We've definitely scouted. How many times did we scout this guy, Art? 3 or more visits. We got a pretty good read on him. He's I'll just look at it from here. He is a left-handed goaltender, hybrid style, out of the OHL, playing with the Guelph Storm, 5'11", 209. Again, from Norway, totally random. Someone's going to get a good goaltender there. The question is, I mean, there's so many players that are projected to go in the top 10 and the top 5. Some of these guys are going to fall out of that top 10, and some team somewhere is going to get a really good player. Well, Sarah Bryakov. Why does that... If Sarah Bryakov is available in the second round, I'm just saying, I'm definitely picking him up. The name sounds so familiar. Was he on some team in the Calgary Flames GM mode? I can't remember. The name seems so familiar to me. So that does it for scouting. This is also upcoming free agents. I want to just take a peek at this real fast. These are possible free agents. Of course, we haven't gotten to the re-sign stage yet. So many of these guys likely to get re-signed, but we got to start preparing. Should any of these guys reach free agency, who would we potentially want to go after? I mean, Gabrick's 32, so he's starting to get up there, but players in this game at free agency, they don't want really huge contracts, kind of like you would get in the real world. Bergeron with Boston, that's an interesting name that would float out there. I'd have to entertain that, but then again, we've got Duchesne down the middle. We've got Plekanec down the middle. It would be interesting. Joe Thornton, we just saw him in the Stanley Cup final. I'm just going to go down the list. I mean, some of these guys, you can see the age is starting to get there on some of these players where I don't know that I want to tempt fate on any of these aging free agents. Markov, that's the player I was thinking. Andrei Markov did not retire, but he did reach free agency as a 35-year-old, so we will be able to move on from that defenseman. We're going to have to go into free agency, I would imagine, and pry something out of free agency to make up for a couple of the losses, because we did lose Bouillon to retirement, and we lost Markov to free agency. So that just takes us right into the draft. Let's begin the entry draft. But before we do that, obviously my phones are going to pop up. Well, here's the draft order first and foremost. Philadelphia, you sly dogs, they have a second overall pick, and they'll have a pick at 18 overall. So before I do anything at all, I've got the draft order in front of me, and if you're watching the screen along with me, you can see where everybody's picking. Obviously, Stanley Cup winners, we pick last in the first round. I can't see beyond round 1, but I am definitely looking to maybe do a little bit of a package deal, move up, and I'm willing to trade out some draft picks, maybe a player to move up in this draft. And when I say move up, I'm looking on the right side of this screen, somewhere into the top 20. Philly's 18th overall pick is very tempting, but it's going to really depend on which of these teams is looking to move their pick to begin with, and what is the trade value on the pick that they're trying to move. So we're going to look into this, and what I may do is I may step away and then cut it back in when I find a deal that makes sense. So I have a proposal that I got to remember this because this may not even go through, and this would be one of my 7 phones. So I have 7 shots at this. I have pulled up the Calgary Flames. You can see it on the screen. Calgary has the 15th overall pick. They're not really willing to part with it, but they're open to trading down because they do want the 30th. I'd be willing to send them this year's. We have 2 second-round picks this year. I'd be willing to send them the later of the second-round picks that we have, which is the 60th overall. We have this prospect, Luis LeBlanc. He's a center. He's been playing down in the A. This would be an interesting move for me. He's 79 overall, 23 years of age, 4-star potential. I mean, this is a pretty good potential little player right here. Take a look at what he did last year, if I could pull up the stats. He played 24 games in the NHL last year. He scored 2 goals. I guess I remember him filling in on the 4th line when we had a bunch of injuries, so we didn't really rely on him, but like I said, he's still kind of growing, more of an AHL player for me. He's listed as a 3rd-line scoring forward, and I throw in this 5th-round pick just to make it up. Can I show the trade value? So there's the trade value. This is the trade value on the right side of the screen of the Flames' 15th overall pick in the first round here. Alou is a throw-in because it would not be an approved trade without them just trading a roster player. So they'd have to trade a roster player. Alou would get rid of a roster player, so this trade could even happen in the first place. I'm sending them a first. There's the value on the left side of the first round pick, the 30th overall. There's the value of the 60th overall. LeBlanc is a chunk of the trade value in this potential deal here. Although I'm not really, I don't know that I'm really seeing this go through. The 5th is a little throw-in, but you can see that there's not a ton of trade value in what I'm sending. Maybe the 1st and LeBlanc together could be enough to get really close to the trade value of the 15th overall pick, but the 2nd and the 5th are kind of nice little throw-ins to sweeten the pot a little bit. I'm going to press triangle. We're going to see what happens if this even goes through, and if it doesn't, well, we just try again. I got to remember, 30th overall, 60th overall, and LeBlanc is a good starting point. So, does it go through? It is no. It's just due to LeBlanc's contract expiring, and they do not want to take on that uncertainty. Damn it. So we're probably really close. Okay, I'm back with another one. So they couldn't take on LeBlanc because of his expiring contract. We've basically brought the same potential deal back on the table, except the only piece that we change out is Tim Bozon, who is a... what is he? I don't even know. He's French. Well, we know that now. Very appropriate, playing for the French Canadian team in the NHL. He's 20 years old, 6'1", 178. When was he drafted? 3 years left. That's the big one. So we couldn't trade LeBlanc because his contract was expiring. Bozon is under contract for 3 more years before he reaches RFA free agent status with a very reasonable deal there on an entry-level deal. He was drafted 3rd round at 64 overall in 2012 by the Canadiens. Playmaking left wing. There's everything you need to see about Tim Bozon. Not played a game in the NHL yet. 62 overall, obviously. So what I wanted to show is LeBlanc's trade value compared to Bozon. So how do I do that? All skaters. Okay, here we go. So there's Bozon. I've got him highlighted on the screen with the game. That's Bozon's trade value. Slightly below that is LeBlanc. So the trade value, very similar. You can see the overall. You can see the ages. LeBlanc is 23. Bozon is 20 years old. There's the years left. That's the big problem with LeBlanc. The thing is, Bozon might get us closer because his trade value is just a nibble higher than LeBlanc's trade value. Does it show the potential? There we go. That's what I wanted to see, the potential. So their potential is pretty similar. LeBlanc has 4 gold star potential at the moment. But like I said, LeBlanc is 3 years older than Bozon is. But different positions. Bozon being a wing, LeBlanc being a center. We're going to see if this goes through. So there's my same proposal. We just swap out LeBlanc for Bozon to get a first round 15th overall pick and Akeem Alou, who's just a throw-in, to make this trade go through. Anything else I need to show? I'll go through all this stuff real quick. Attributes. Anything I need to know about the Flames? Nope. There you go. So we're going to execute trade. See if the Calgary Flames accept this one. And they did not like it because we didn't even quite meet the trade block. So that's 2 of 7 phones gone. I have 5 more chances to get this done. They like it, but we need to sweeten the value a touch. That tells me that we're really close. We're really close. The 5th thrown in there. And I know Alou adds a little bit of trade value to this. We're really close. We're really close. Okay, we're back again. 3rd time with the Flames, trying to make a deal go through, and this one's going to be just slightly more painful. I've stuck with the same deal as before, but I've added in McCoy Urkamps, a defenseman. Let's go over this. Offensive defenseman, 19 years old, 6 feet, 196, 3.5 gold star. He could definitely blossom into something. He's just 19, like I said. The potential is kind of there. These 3.5 gold star potential players, they could be something. But, I mean, I don't know. I don't know that he'll be really a game changer. And at D, we can always go get something at D. We drafted this guy 2013, first overall, 25th overall, or first round, 25th overall pick. So, I mean, we just drafted this guy. I'm willing to part ways. We had to sweeten the pot with the Calgary Flames. Now, I want to bring up the trade values just so I can get this in the video as well. There's Urkamp's trade value compared to the trade value of just the 15th overall pick that Calgary has there. There's the trade value of the 5th overall pick that we are sending. Bozon's trade value, it's high, but not quite enough, obviously. Second round pick, 60th overall pick, and our 30th overall pick from this first round. It's quite a bit that we're throwing in. I can't really throw anything else in there. I can't even retain salary. There's no salaries to be retained. The only thing that's questionable to me about Urkamps is I believe he is not under contract. Yeah, he's not under any kind of contract. That may be a bit of a... that may throw this whole thing off, but they want the player, as the Flames mentioned. We didn't meet their trade block. Urkamps meets their trade block. He's young. He's got some potential. I'm not going to throw you a blockbuster player to get your 15th overall. This is kind of starting to become overpayment territory, in my opinion, just for a 15th overall pick. But I really want to move up. Come on, Calgary. I GM'd and led your organization to 2 Stanley Cups. The least you can do is send me this 15th overall pick. And it is done. It is done. I was a little nervous about Urkamps, but there you go. You gotta, yeah, it's a nice little proposal for you, Calgary, but I'm banking on getting something with this 15th overall pick. It's the first of 2 seasons that my created players are available in the draft. So I'm gonna try. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna try to get... You know, I don't want to shut down the phones. I want to try to see if I can get a late first-round pick as well. I'm going to get a little bit greedy, and I'm going to go see what kind of later first-round picks we can maybe snag. So I'm going to Nashville, and I'm approaching David Poile, right, the GM of the Predators. And they want to give up this 25th overall first-round pick and the second. I want to try to get LeBlanc. He's got the trade value. Now, we encountered a problem with the Calgary Flames, didn't we, with LeBlanc. Technically under contract, but it's going to be, you know, 1 year left. It's expiring, I think, this summer. And for some reason, the GMs... I mean, the potential for LeBlanc is there. I mean, he could be a pretty good player. He's 79 overall. Right now, he's a center. He could be pretty good for you. And you want to move these 2 draft picks right here Just take the deal that is in front of you, Nashville. But I have a feeling I'm about to lose another one of my phones for this first round. But I'm gonna press the execute trade button right now. Please. Timing not right. It's just the freaking contract of LeBlanc. Why didn't we sign LeBlanc to another contract? It's really screwing me up, and I have lost another one of my phones. I'm not done, Nashville. I'm not done. Oh, I had 4 phones? Oh, it was 4 phones, not 7 phones. I thought I had 7 phones. I was looking at round 1 of 7. I am so stupid. I just wasted my last phone. And now I can't do that trade. Loic Arnaud and Yosin off the board already. Arneson to Vancouver. Oh, this is all going off real quick. Is Sukai Ming? Is the Ming Dynasty? Ekblad goes to Toronto. The Ming Dynasty is still available. Now it's a good thing I moved into the top 15. Man, I wish I could make a trade. I really wish I could have traded with Nashville and gotten that 25th pick. So, just to recap, Loic Arnaud, the French playmaker, goes first overall to the Phoenix Coyotes. Noah Yosin, the goaltender, he goes to Philadelphia. They do need that goaltending. Arneson off the board as well to the Vancouver Canucks. That's the huge defense. He's huge. He's massive. Massive defenseman. Ekblad going to Toronto. So Toronto just got themselves a really good defenseman. Unless Ekblad doesn't grow very well in this. I wish I hadn't just... I knew that LeBlanc trade was not going to go through with Nashville. And I could have 2 first-round picks, man. I could. But it's over. It's over and done with. It is what it is. I have to just draft a player now. So we're going into this screen. I told you, Sukai Ming is available. I have to do it. It's between Sukai Ming or Caleb Johnson, center, right wing, 2-way forward, sniper. This is a difficult choice, man. Sam Reinhart's still on the board as well. How about that for Sam Reinhart? I only had 1 goaltender, right? It was only 1 goaltender that was available that I created. I believe it was just the 1 goaltender. So Sarah Bryakov is still available. Now, it's tough for me. I don't know if I actually want to draft Sarah Bryakov because we got Carey Price and he's going to be good for a while. But at some point, depending on how long I want this GMO to go, you're going to have to replace him. But I've got at least 2 goaltenders, I think, available in next year's draft class. It's got to be, for me, it's got to be the Ming Dynasty. It has to be. We're going to take one more look at this. There is the scouted attributes. We've scouted him many times. He's going to be good. The Singaporean Sidney Crosby. Or it could be down to the American Caleb Johnson, the right wing sniper. I'm gonna be real with you. I'm gonna pass on Johnson. It's gotta be Sukai Ming. It just has to be. We're gonna do it. We're gonna do it off the board. Welcome to the Montreal Canadiens, Sukai Ming. Ming is off the board. Caleb Johnson is gonna be Sam Reinhart. Johnson's been passed up and he goes to the New Jersey Devils, so he stays out east. Or he's in the East. We're in the East. I keep thinking that I'm still the GM with the Flames, right? So there is the whole first round off the board. Oh, we got that early second round, that 60th overall. We got that early second round pick. So Caleb Johnson did go off the board. Sam Reinhart's gone as well. Just a recap of what happened. Hauerluck, after we drafted Sukai Ming, Hauerluck, Baye, Ludwig, Reinhart, Ty, then Johnson. And then from there on in, I mean, we would, even if we traded with Nashville, Reinhart gone, Johnson just barely gone. Yeah, it's a tough choice now. I'm going to see what happens. I swear to God, man, if Sarah Bryakov gets picked before I have a chance to draft him, I'm going to be angry. There's nothing I can do. I don't think I have any phones. There's the trade that we made with the Flames. Thank you, Calgary, for being so gracious after all that I did for your franchise as the general manager, and I get my trades back. So we could make some moves here. We could make a few trades, and I guess I will explore all that and cut it back in. Okay, I'm shutting the phones down. I didn't find anything. We don't have a whole lot to trade. At least us outside of LeBlanc, we do have a prospect defenseman, but his value is too high for what I'd be trading for in this scenario. It's just not worth it to trade that defenseman for a very early second round pick that doesn't have a whole lot of trade value. The value just isn't there. There's nothing that makes sense to me, so I'm just gonna let the AIs draft their picks there. Hayden and Cotton. We draft the third pick of the second round, which is the 33rd overall pick in the draft. Third pick of the second round. We'll put it that way. Let's see what's available. And oh my god, Marcellus Subban. How did I not know of? Is there a fourth Subban brother that I didn't even know we could bring him in? Look, I don't want to bring in players just because of the relation. I don't want this to become a family ties thing here. We got to draft the right player for the right position. Leon Draisaitl available. Would have already been drafted, I guess, if I'd made the potential a lot higher for Leon Draisaitl, and he still might be a pretty good player in this GM mode. He might grow pretty well, especially if you do things the right way. But let me look at the goaltenders. I know that Sarah Bryakov is still out there. There he is. And I just, for whatever reason, I'm high on Sarah Bryakov. He was in our, I swear to you, he was in the Flames GM mode or something. He's not a created goaltender, obviously. He's got a real face. Do we take a flyer on Sarah Bryakov and just see if we just throw a dart at the board here? It's tough because, I mean, it'll take him a while to grow. And Carey Price is going to carry this team in the net for a while. And if I miss out on something here like Leon Draisaitl, for example, but there's not a whole lot to really choose from here. The pickings are very slim outside of Draisaitl. I know that there's people that are probably watching this like, just take Draisaitl. I want you to take Draisaitl. It wouldn't make sense for me to take a goaltender, right? But I got a hunch on Sarah Bryakov. I do. I don't know why. Oh wait, hold on. There's Sarah Bryakov. So 3.5 White Star potentials. That means he's pretty much going to be exactly that good. I don't know. Now that I think about it, I'm kind of leaning back toward taking Leon Draisaitl. I am. I'm really leaning toward taking Draisaitl now. Because 3.5 green, he could get better than that. He could. He's a high second round pick. There's high league interest. Do we try it with Draisaitl? You know what, screw it. We're trying it with Leon Draisaitl. Welcome to the Canadiens. I did it. I went against my initial impression, which is to take Sarah Bryakov. Maybe Sarah Bryakov reaches the third round, but I highly doubt it. Someone is going to draft Sarah Bryakov in here. And there he goes. He went off the board right there to the Columbus Blue Jackets. It's fine because, I mean, like I said, Price is going to carry us for the chunk of this GM mode anyway. And if I had to, I'll go out and make a trade for a goaltender or find one in free agency or something. So at this point, can probably auto-sim the draft. Well, Wapple is projected to be, we'll take Wapple. I just love the name. 5'10", 154. This dude is a child. And no wonder he's projected to go undrafted. Do we take Wapple? See, the thing is these guys, they may be 2-star projected potential, right? But they could grow better than, they could get better than that, especially this kid being 17. Wapple's 19. He is pretty much exactly as good as it says he is. He's probably not going to get a whole lot better than whatever his overall rating is right now. We could take a flyer on Moran. Let's take a flyer on Moran. We'll take Moran. Sure, it's the third round, and this will be my last human pick. Whatever. I'm gonna auto sim the rest of the draft after taking Brent Moran. So the entry draft complete. There's all the picks from round 7 going backwards. There's round 7 in front of you. There's round 6. Round 5, we didn't have a pick there because we traded it in this draft to Calgary. They took Campagna with that pick. Trafford to our team in the 4th round. That was a simulated pick. And I, of course, took Moran in the 3rd round, back to the 2nd round, and the 1st round. My created players that went off the board in this draft, just a recap for you. I know we've spent way longer on the draft than we probably should have. I certainly feel that way. Loic Arnaud, created player, going to the Phoenix Coyotes. First overall pick in the draft. Noah Yosin to the Philadelphia Flyers as a goaltender. Axel Arnersson to the Vancouver Canucks, the defenseman, stout defenseman. Aaron Ekblad, not created. We all know that. To Toronto, I just want to recap that. Su Kai Ming, we bring, hopefully, the Ming dynasty to Montreal. Caleb Johnson goes to the New Jersey Devils. And that's it for the Season 2 draft as far as pretty much my created players are concerned with. Well, I lost the phone because of my lack of ability to negotiate. Great. I know I screwed up some of the negotiations at the draft with the other teams, and I burned through all my phones. We're now into the contracts negotiations, and this is where, before we shut the video off, this is the portion where we can see just how good all of my created players kind of sort of turned out to be. Now, I say that we can kind of see how good they are because they're obviously going to grow. And there's no guarantee, but with Loic Arnaud, 5-star potential. This guy might be a beast. He may very well may be a beast and a problem to deal with. At least he's out west, I'll say that. He's with the Coyotes, 65 overall in his rookies, going into his rookie season or whatever. I guess he'll probably go back and play junior before he gets a go in the NHL. But there's Loic Arnaud in front of you. First overall pick in the 2014 Year 2 draft of the GM mode. Philadelphia drafted after that the Norwegian netminder Noah Yosin. 5-star, gold star potential, 17. Definitely not going to be playing in the NHL yet, but 66 overall out of the gate. He might be something. He might be a problem. The issue for us, Yosin is in the East. Is Noah Yosin the new Carl Boynton? If you remember Boynton with the Blues from the Calgary Flames GM mode and all of my playoff struggles facing the Blues. Toronto drafted a very good, promising, young Aaron Ekblad, 58 overall at the moment. 4.5 gold star potential, drafted at 12th overall by the Maple Leafs in the Year 2 draft. Vancouver takes the already 77 best player in the draft by far. Best pick of the draft, Axel Arnersson, number 2 defenseman, 18 years old, 6'8", 214, absolute unit on the blue line. And I mean, that slap shot is going to take some heads off. I'm telling you, already a 5-star shooting category before he even steps foot on NHL ice with that 5-star potential. Taken 4th overall in the Year 2 draft by the Canucks. They won out big time. New Jersey gets Caleb Johnson, the sniper right wing, 5'11", 186 at 18 years old, 4.5 gold star potential. Caleb Johnson, special pick there at 21st overall. Quite a steal there that late in the draft. I can't believe he fell down the board that much. Taken a little while after Su Kai Ming, who we're about to take a look at right now. Now, not a bad pick myself. I'm glad that I got to at least draft one of my own created players, and it's probably one of the lesser of the created players that I made. But we're going to get to see how the Ming Dynasty, Su Kai Ming, I mean, that's going to be the nickname, the Singaporean Sidney Crosby, is coming to Montreal. We're going to see how he develops. He's probably not, he might, he'll probably go back to junior. It depends on how his growth goes in the offseason. He may be NHL ready. I may end up playing him in the NHL. If he bumps up to like a mid-70s, I'll play him in the NHL for his first season of play. Obviously, we took him at 15th overall when we made that trade to get that pick from Calgary. Oh, Calgary, what could have been? So I am doing this in 2 parts, recording it in 2 parts. That shouldn't matter in terms of the video. By the way, my life has become suddenly a little bit crazier than I was anticipating with a few things going on for me personally. So videos may be a little less frequent for this weekend specifically, and depending on how things go, this video may not even go out on the day that I intend to. So if you're wondering where the off-season videos are, if they haven't been uploaded, I've just gotten busier than I anticipated I would, and I've gotten a little bit behind. Again, imagine that. There's been behind a lot. But anyway, the editing of this should be very simple. We're combining 2 parts into 1. We're now doing the contracts portion of things. And I wish I'd just gone ahead and recorded it all in one video, to be honest. But anyway, I didn't have the brain power to get through the contracts negotiations. So we're going to start with an obvious one. Ryan White, you were a beast for us in the playoffs as a... I don't know how old Ryan White is. I think it just showed 26-year-old, 4th line forward. Honestly, I can save a little bit of money on this, but it's not a lot. So we'll come down to 1.180 for 2 years. Absolutely happy with that deal for a more than serviceable player. We put that offer in the mail to Ryan White. Yannick Weber, that's a tender the offer type thing. Replaceable. He can play down in the AHL until, somebody else is ready to replace him or whatever. He is filler material for the AHL. Nathan Walker, not ready. 58 overall, 51 overall. Terry Trafford. These guys were drafted, by the way. Some of these guys were recently drafted by the AI. Not by me, but by the computer when I simmed the draft. Dalton Thrower is 20 years old. 59 overall. I considered putting this guy in a trade, but his trade value was too high for what we were going to get in return at the draft, so I had never actually seriously considered it. He's still here. He needs a new contract. He has good potential. So, wow. Yeah, that's just an entry-level deal. I'm willing to go to $0.600 million, which is a little above his asking price. Again, I don't know what this guy may be, but judging by potential, he is 20, but there's plenty of time for him to grow. He is a defenseman as well. Who knows what he may become. He may become an NHL caliber D. So we need to put that offer in the mail. Obviously, PK Subban needs a new contract, and boy, I knew it. That's really not as high as I thought it might be. Remember that at this point in time, the salary cap was much lower, so contracts were also not as exorbitant as they are today. But PK Subban is going to command that money. I can actually save money. Can we go long-term on PK? Let's say I wanted to sign PK 8 years, and see, that brings the asking price way up at 8 years. See, if I go through the years, it brings up the asking price. Do you sign PK at 8 years, and what was the rule? Is it 85%? I think it's like 85%. I can't remember. But we're going to go down to... judging by this, I can go down to about $6.40 million. I'm going to go $6.525 million. 8 years left for PK. He's 25 years old. So this is a prime age to lock up a player of this caliber who just won the Conn Smythe Trophy, had a massive helping hand in getting us to a Stanley Cup championship. Ideally, I guess if you're PK, the way that you look at it is you want a bridge deal instead of signing a long-term contract that locks you in for 8 years guaranteed. The benefit, of course, of having his rights is we can offer him those 8 years. I'm going to put it in there. I mean, even if he rejects it, it's the first day of contracts negotiations. I can always come back to it if PK, for some reason, doesn't like that offer. Anton Strawman, again, this is unless he wants a reasonable amount of money. That's an AHL player. Gonna pass on that. Rankin, we still got another year till he's a UFA. Quayler, you know what? I'll tender that. I'll tender Quayler. Brandon Pruss is locked up. Placanitz. Anything else going on? Patterin. I remember Greg Patterin. For some reason, this name, I just remember the name. And that's all. It's not that I necessarily remember the player as being noteworthy. I just remember the name. Nygren, 24 years old. Nope, it's a pass for me. Natanen, 23 years old. 69 overall. Nice. I'm going to tender that. You can play in the AHL. Moody, we just drafted this guy because you can see here we got plenty of years before he reaches that UFA status, so he's a recent draft pick of ours. Su Kai-Ming, go ahead and do it. just go ahead and give him that ELC. I'm going to bump that ELC value up to 0.825. I want to say 8 point, but 0.825, 3 years, entry-level deal. Get him already involved in the system. Get him under contract. Markov was our aging UFA defenseman. Now, I don't know what he was making. I've already forgotten it, but it is recorded because I don't... Is that his salary, what he was making, 5.75? So we're going to save that 5.75 off the books with Markov reaching free agent status. He did not retire, so he's just going to go to free agency, and I'm fine with that. We can basically take that money that we would have given to Markov or that would have gone to Markov, and we can give it to PK Subban. The other thing we can do is we can move on from a player if Sukai Ming is NHL ready, which he might be. He's 68 overall before the summer ends. And remember, by the time we get around to preseason, he should see some more growth, and that should bump his overall rating up there. And if it's even in the mid-70s, he's playing in the NHL. I don't care. I'm going to play him in the NHL as the fourth-line center next season. So that'll save us money by... Basically, it'll save us money by giving Sukai Ming that entry-level contract. So if we have to trade a player out to make the cap space work, we will do that. Because remember, we operated literally right at the salary cap line last season. I don't know how much we were under the cap, but we were barely under. And this is for this. So we did sign Jordan Leopold to a 2-year contract, which feels good to me. Because if he did reach free agency this summer, I would have brought him back for 1 more year. He was unfortunately injured for the Stanley Cup run. He got injured in the playoffs. So it was a season-ending injury for Jordan Leopold. He was in the press box during the... Well, he wasn't in the press box. I'm sure that he came down on the ice with... I forgot what his injury was, but I'm sure he came down and visited the ice surface and celebrated with his teammates. But he did not play in any of the Stanley Cup final games, and he didn't get to lift the cup, at least dressed up as a player. Arturi Lehkonen is an easy tender to the qualifying offer, 18 years of age, 54 overall, but I mean, there's a little bit of potential there. He could still be an NHL player. I don't want to give up on that player. Lefebvre, no. It was 23 years old, 2.5 Red Star potential, just not there for me. Louis LeBlanc, we tried to trade this guy at the draft, but because he was on his contract had expired or is expiring, the teams that I tried to trade him to, I think it was the Flames. I tried to trade with Nashville. They did not agree to taking on LeBlanc because of that uncertainty. We're going to offer him a new contract, and judging by the fact that he's asking for a $2.455 million deal, that kind of tells me he might actually be pretty decent. He may be kind of decent. So I'm going to try to save some money on the cap. I think it was 85%. I can't save a whole lot with him asking for 2.455, so I can bring that down to roughly a little above 2 million. We'll go a little above 2 million, so 2.290 million, if that makes sense over those 3 years. That's fine with me. We can always move on from the player if need be. Chad LaRose, this is the guy that won the Stanley Cup he scored the Stanley Cup clinching goal, if you will, for the Canadiens. The issue I have with LaRose, he was making $1.1 million. It's tough. I feel like I gotta owe Chad LaRose another contract. He was a beast for us on the playoff run. Yes, he is going to be a bit of a downgrade from where he was last season. Actually, but before I do anything, can I pull up his stats from last year before I do anything else? He played 63 regular season games, 13 points. So he didn't do much until I took over the gameplay. But in 22 playoff games, 16 points and 6 goals scored, like I said, including the most pivotal goal of the entire playoffs for the Canadiens that earned the Stanley Cup for the franchise. I want to look at what he's asking for, because I can't do that. 3-star potential. 2 years would take him to 32. 1.5. I can't save a whole lot of money there. I think I can probably go down to like just under 1.4. What if I go to 1 year? He wants more money if I go to 1 year. No, he wants less money. I take that back. What if we offer him the 1 year I mean, if we lose LaRose, we lose LaRose. But I'm going to try 1.38 for 1 year, and you can fill out the fourth line. I said it already. I feel like I owe this to Chad LaRose for all that he's done for the Canadiens. So the offer's in the mail. Kamayev, we've got time. I mean, he just not a lot of growth there. 65 overall at 20 years old. There's going to be guys that are going to surpass some of these other prospects that we haven't signed yet. Brian Giantis, 35. I thought you would have retired, Gianta. You got the Stanley Cup championship. You're 35. You're definitely on the road to regression. Also, what were you making last year as well? I want to know what his contract was. $5 million. We're saving money this year in certain places. So we are saving some money after we offered. PK hasn't signed it yet, but we have offered PK Subban a brand new spanking big deal. Gilroy could be an AHL player. Absolutely is. Could be a call-up. We might be better served to get a call-up defenseman from free agency. Brendan Gallagher will save us some money for this season. He's making less than $1 million. But then he's going to hit RFA status as a 4 Gold Star player at 20 years old. He should grow beyond an 82 overall, so he'll be asking for more money in the future. Simone Gagne, thank you for your help. You were, again, another one of those players. More than serviceable. What did his regular season look like? 10 goals, 25 points in 81 games. Played on like that third, fourth line for us in the regular season. Had a 5-goal, 8-point playoff. And I didn't mean to back out of that. Good job, Vince. I wanted to see what kind of money he was making just out of pure curiosity. 1.9 last season. I guess that's what he was making. He's 34. He's an 81 overall. We can find better in free agency again. Another player to move on from. Vernon Fiddler. I totally forgot. How did we even get Vernon Fiddler? I guess he was just a healthy extra in case of an injury. Was he making any kind of money? Last season, $1.8 million last season. We're just saving money all over the place. Moving on from these aging veterans. Yemlin it depends on what he wants. He wants 4 years. That would take him to 32. He wants 3.81. He's a serviceable D. I think we stick with Yemlin, but if I don't like anything that he does, if his numbers aren't great, a trade bait. Absolutely a tradable player. We're going to come down on that value. How much can I actually... Judging by the calculations, how much can I save on Yemlin? It says I can go down to like 3.2. I don't want to go down that far. I'm going to go down to like 3. I'll go down to 3.4, somewhere around 3.4, maybe a little under that. 3.95. So 3.395, 4 years. I'm fine with giving Yemlin another chance on this team and another contract. Defensemen don't just grow on trees, you know. Lars Eller... For me, that's definitely worth giving him a new deal. And again, he wants, 3.8. We can come down to 3.4, 3.5 to Lars Eller. I'm going to go to 3.5 with this guy. And it depends on, if Yemlin accepts, then it means I can definitely go down that far on the contract value. So we're going to try 3.510. 3.510, 4 years, just like Yemlin. Of course, Eller is younger than Yemlin is. And is, in my opinion, going to be the better player. I know they play different positions, but going to be the better player than Yemlin. Gabriel Dumont, I'm going to pass on that guy. Matt Duchene. Gosh, I forgot about Matt Duchene as a free agent, isn't he? Ooh. So we were saving money, and then we have to pay Matt Duchene. Now, Duchene is another one of those players. I want to go long-term with this guy, just like PK. Now... He's asking for similar money to PK Subban, but what is the total? What can I potentially save with Matt Duchene if we do the 85 or 80%? I'm guessing 6.5 is what it says. We're going to try to go down to about 6.5 on Duchene long term. What if I try to go to 6 million? I'm going to try multiple times with Duchene. I'm going to start with a little above 6 million with Duchene for 8 years. If he rejects it, fair play to Matt Duchene. I'm going to try 6.050 million. If we have to raise that contract value, that's fine with me. We'll come back to the table with Duchene. I'm going to try this first. My pockets are going to be a little tight. We have 23.4 million, and I haven't officially gotten a player to sign yet because I haven't advanced a day in contract negotiations. So I got to save money where I can. I'm going to be pinched all over the place. Leon Draisaitl will wait on that contract. He's not ready yet. But he is for Red Star potential. I think I forgot to look at Draisaitl's potential in the last portion. This is all in the same video, so it doesn't matter. But yeah, Draisaitl, 33rd overall pick for us in the second round, decided to take a shot at Draisaitl, the German left winger. And I mean, the potential is there, but it should be higher. I should have edited Draisaitl. But if I edited Draisaitl, he would have never fallen to us in the second round there. Diaz is under contract. Diaz is not under contract. And I'm going to just move on from the player. We'll go get some defensemen in free agency or via a trade if we have to. Rene Bourque still under contract for 2 more seasons? Yes, 2 more seasons for Rene Bourque at 32 years old. That's okay with me. Blunden, Grinder, 27 years old. I'll just bring him back. I don't want to have to worry about the AHL. I just want to get players under contract. Nathan Beaulieu could be another... Yeah, he's in the AHL for another season. Akeem Alou, we got him in the trade with Calgary, I believe it was. 25 years old, 70 overall, Grinder. I'm just going to move on from that. So, wow, that's it as far as skaters are concerned. Please don't tell me that Carey Price is due for a contract. No, Carey Price is locked up. Oh, he is locked up for a while. That's good news for me. When did he sign that big deal? That was in the real world. It was that 18-19 season. He signed that $10 million whatever deal it was. And then very sadly for everyone, for Carey Price, for Habs fans, and for fans of the NHL in general, because Carey Price, I got to say it, one of my favorite goalies of the modern era. Absolutely loved watching this guy play in the real world. He was so much fun to watch. And then unfortunately, he had just knee problems. I believe it was knee problems, basically forced Price into an early retirement. So he never got to fully play out that contract that he signed. So the good news is he's not up for a contract yet. We've got quite a few seasons to worry about that. We got Budaj, who's he's 31 years old. Really not going to be anything more than an AHL goalie. Does it tell me what his player role is? I don't think it tells me anywhere what Budaj is, but he's an AHL goaltender right now. Up for debate is Tokarski, who might grow to be a little bit better than Budaj. I don't know. I'm having a tough time deciding on what I want to do here because Budaj is for the AHL. Fucale is for the AHL. But Fucale's not ready. He's 19. He needs another year playing at the lower levels. So I think what my shopping list is going to be, forget about Tokarski. 3.5 gold star potential. I think I can get a better backup goaltender for Price in free agency. And we can get a backup for the AHL for Budaj in free agency. So I kind of got to start making a shopping list because we're going to need 2 goaltenders in free agency. And then we're going to need to go get some other players to fill out the defense. Let me just, before I worry about filling out the roster, because free agency is so far away, I want to advance a few days, get some feedback from players, get some contracts signed, find out how much cap space I have available. Oh, I earned Pro GM status. Thank you very much. Chad LaRose has renewed. I've got 12 notifications here to go through. Chad LaRose renewed. Duchesne, so that's a tough one. Duchesne, we offered him $6 million. I'm guessing that he likes the years, but I just didn't meet him on the money front. That's okay. I'm coming back to Duchesne with a better offer. That tells me, I'm going to guess that PK Subban probably rejected as well. Yemelin renewed. Ryan White obviously was going to renew. Lars Eller renewed. PK Subban locked in. All right, so that is locked in. Duchesne is the only one so far that has a little bit of a problem. It was an easy decision for PK Subban to agree to this renewal. So we've got him locked in for 8 years. Anton Strawman back with the team, but that's for the AHL, Blunden AHL, LeBlanc, bottom 6. Sukai Ming signs his ELC. I'm just anticipating this guy being in the lineup for opening night. And Dalton Thrower is on the team. So the only one is Matt Duchene. I have... Oh, this is going to suck. See that in the top right? I have 9.8 million of cap space. We didn't sign Matt. Let me go to centers. We didn't sign Matt Duchene yet. He needs 6 point. I have to go to... So I'm going to go to 8 years. We have to do this. I'm going to go to 8 years and we're going to go to 6 point. My previous offer was like right on the money, about almost 6 million even, slightly above that. And he didn't like it. So I have to go to Duchene at about 6 point... I'm going to have to go to 6.4. I'm going to try 6.4 by 8 years. And I got plenty of time to get this deal done before we hit the official free agency period. I cannot let Duchene get to free agency. So the offer is in, advance the day. Now, there's not as many players to get back to me. Duchene should get back to me very quickly on that front. And again, he rejects it. Ooh. Duchene playing hardball. We cannot let Duchene reach free agency. We cannot let it happen. So is this sorted by my centers that are not expiring? Let's sort it by overall rating. That'll get me Duchene. There we go. Why are we playing hardball? We can always tender the qualifying offer, and he may not agree to the qualifying offer. Oh, I didn't think about this. Does anyone else have any restricted free agents for any other teams? Can I go to any other teams and, you know, like look for their upcoming RFAs, any RFAs? We sort it by overall rating. That's what we need to do. And don't do it by centers. Do it by all skaters. All skaters, any RFAs on Nashville. I'm going to have to just go through all this and cut all this out of the video. Oh, I guess I can't. Well, we have to reach... So Tyler Johnson, pay attention to Tyler Johnson. We'll look at free agents. So we can do that in free agency. Okay, back to Duchene one more time. 6.4 didn't get it done. So I'm going to try again. This is my last time going long term with Duchene. What was the ask if we go 8 years? Let me just go to 8 years. Okay, so it's going to take like 6 point... I think it'll take 6.7. I think it's going to take 6.7 to get it done. And I'm willing to go to 6.7 by 8 years to get it done with Duchene. Last try. If this doesn't work, we're running out of days now before free agency. So I don't have a lot of time now. Duchene has wasted my time. If this doesn't work, we try to go short term if I have enough days left. And if that doesn't work, then we just tendered the qualifying offers, so we at least have sent that qualifying offer in the mail to Duchene. Even if Duchene, there's how many days I got left. I don't have a lot of days left. Even if Duchene would reject a shorter term deal, I would, by tendering the qualifying offer, we would maintain his rights, I believe, even if he doesn't agree to the tendered qualifying offer. He still has to agree to that deal. He can elect not to, and he just wouldn't play for us until he is signed under a contract under a new deal. Please, Duchene. There it is. So we don't even have to go through any more drama with Matt Duchene. He's under contract. Unfortunately, I'm left tight on cap space. I have 4 million of cap space to spread around, I think, like 3 different positions. So now I need to look at my forwards. We've lost a few players to free agency and to retirement, and it has helped us save money on the books. But because of the deals that we signed PK Subban and Matt Duchene to, you can see Matt Duchene's now locked up 8 years by 6.7 million for Duchene, all the way up to 22-23 season. Duchene is locked in as a Hab. I mean, we made that trade for him, and he carried us on a Stanley Cup run for a reason as a young 23-year-old. Then we've got the deal. Where is PK Subban? Oh, this is... Did I pass PK Subban? Am I just blind and I passed PK Subban? Oh, this is sorted by forwards. I forgot. Wow. I forgot that I sorted this by forwards because I was going to take a look at something. So not just down the middle, but all the way around on forwards. We've got 1 with Pacioretty, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Well, Gianta is not 7. Forget about that. He's gone. That's 7 with Proust, 8 with Desharnais, 9 with LeBlanc. We're going to count on him playing in the bottom 6. No. 10 with Ryan White, 11 with Chad LaRose. So yeah, And you got Su Kai Ming, unless he's not ready. So we're kind of banking on Su Kai Ming being ready, and that would give us 12 forwards. I say we need to go get a forward in free agency, someone that can play, because down the middle we got Duchesne, Plecky, Eller. That's first line, second line, third line. That's locked up. That's good. Who was my fourth line center? Desharnais is my fourth line center. So we're good down the middle. We just need a wing. So we need to find a cheap, reasonable, not amazing winger, left or right wing, doesn't matter to me, in free agency. On the defensive side of the puck, remember, I need goaltenders too. I need a goalie for the A, and I need a backup goaltender. We can go very cheap on backup goaltender because this is Carey Price's net. There's no question about that. PK Subban, there he is. Now I can show you. Worth it because due to the age and the potential of the player, 88 overall, it made sense. They locked a Conn Smythe winner. Made sense to just give him 8 years like Duchesne's at $6.525 million. Markov, you're gone. You're off the books. Should have just retired, honestly, but that's not my problem. Josh Georges, 85 overall. That'll be your top pair. Subban Georges. It was Subban Markov last season. Yemelin, Leopold, Beaulieu, probably a healthy extra, but playing in the A. 4-star potential, but it hasn't grown enough to me to convince me to put him in the lineup full time. So we do, what do we need? We got 1, 2, 3, 4. We need a 5 and a 6 defenseman. This is really going to be tough. I got $4 million of cap space to play around with. I need 2 defensemen, unless Beaulieu is good and ready. And I need, what did I say, 2 goalies? I need to get a backup for Carey Price, unless Budaj ends up being that backup goaltender. We're moving on from Tokarski. I need to get a goaltender for the A and at least 2 goaltenders. Whether those 2 goaltenders are for the A or one of them is the backup Price and the other is for the A, whatever it is. We need 2 goalies, we need 2 defensemen, and we need a winger. Okay, and now we're at free agent screen. The free agent, day 1 of free agency, July 4th. July 4th. That's American independence. July 1st, free agency day. I have a smidge over $4 million to play with. I have to go get 5 players. So let's see what's out there. Oh, by the way, because I tend to forget this. That's not the right thing. Where is RFA? What RFAs can I... Yes, Tyler Johnson is available. So I forgot what the compensation is, but we could offer Tyler Johnson a contract. 1 year. Do we offer him the 1 year? Go 2 years and 1.85 and offer him that and see if he signs it with us. 1.95. That would save me a little bit of money there with a good little fourth line. He's a center, but we could get Tyler Johnson. Let me back out before I offer that. So Tyler Johnson is on the table, and that's about the best player that is actually on the table. That's it. Torrey Krug. Torrey Krug is 67 overall. What's his potential? He has to have way more potential than that. I should have edited Torrey Krug. We'll save that for the next GM mode. I'll have to edit certain prospects for the next GM mode. It's a shame that I forgot about that. So Tyler Johnson, I've offer cheated one player in the past in a GM mode, but I was not successful. Do we think we can be successful offering Tyler Johnson 1.90 million? And then if I hit offer, in order to proceed, you must provide the Tampa Bay Lightning. I don't even have to offer any compensation. What if I bump up the value? 2 years, you can... Oh man, when we go up... Oh! Tyler Johnson might be kind of decent. Do we go 3 years, 3 years, 1.250? 3 years, see if Johnson would sign that. And I don't even have to give up any compensation at that value either. So there's the RFA offer sheet to Tyler Johnson. I'm sure Tampa Bay will easily match that, but I don't even know if they were crunched on cap space or not. Doesn't matter to me. That's just the depth chart I was looking at. So this is what's available. Big fish names on the free agent market. Someone's going to go after Daniel Sedin. Don't split up the Sedin twins. What are you doing? Derek Brassard, I would totally bring you on board. if that made sense for my organization and I had the cap space, but it just doesn't make sense for me. And I can't bank on that offer sheet will get signed, but I'm looking to sign, like I said, a really cheap depth winger. But since we did the offer sheet, there he is right there, Tyler Johnson. Since we did the offer sheet, let's see what we can get defensively wise, defenseman speaking, on the market. Because I need 2 defensemen, and they don't need to be amazing. I have got to spread the money around very intelligently here. I was Derek England makes a lot of sense to me. I kind of like that. Let's come down to 1.120 for 2 years is acceptable for me at 32 years of age. You're basically just a depth defenseman. So that's one defenseman we have offered. It's not taken care of, but it is an offer that is sent in. We could also go after Roosevelt's too old. Koska. How old is Diaz? 28. I'm going to go, I guess I'm going to go after Koska. That would save us some money too. So Koska, we'll send that in there. That'll save us a little bit of money. And then I need goaltenders. So what's available in the goalie market? Not a lot. Elliott doesn't want too much money. He's 29. Josh Harding. Eddie Lack. Eddie Lack would save us more money. Is there any potential there with Eddie Lack? 4-star potential? 26 years old? Is he likely to grow any more beyond that? I can see potential from here, by the way, if I keep scrolling over. I just don't know. I mean, Eddie Lack's not that much better than Tokarski is, I guess, but it's all, for me, I don't know. I'm going to try Elliott. I'm going to go after Elliott. Teams interested? No teams interested. He wants 1.4250. I don't want to spend a ton of money or waste a ton of time on a backup goalie when we know this is Carey Price's net. I'm going to go to Eddie Lack. I am. I'm going to go down. There is a team interested. It's Vancouver, which is that where he was coming from? Vancouver. So, of course, of course, they'd be interested in Lack. What if we go 2 years for Eddie Lack? Because I do need a backup goaltender for the long term. We'll go 3 years to Eddie Lack. And I'll come down to 1.190. Eddie Lack. Always an RFA. Well, yeah, we'll go after RFA that guy. We'll offer sheet that goaltender. And then I need a goaltender, like a really cheap goalie for down in the AHL. We'll go to Jeremy Smith, sure. Oh, you know what? I'd rather try to save even more money. Let's get like a more experienced goaltender like Al Montoya. Yeah, we can go to Al Montoya. You can be my AHL goaltender. Okay, advance the day. I hate contracts and this part of the offseason because there's just so much that my brain needs to focus on. There's so much brain power required to do these parts of these episodes. And I just get burned out really quickly doing contracts. I really do. There's a lot that I have to process. And I'm not getting any feedback from anyone that I offered. I'm going to hear back now. Montoya was like, hey, somebody knows that I exist. I'm more than happy to play for you. Derek England accepts. So there's our depth defense. Eddie Lack. I don't know what happened. I'm guessing that Vancouver matched the offer sheet with Eddie Lack, which is okay with me. Tyler Johnson rejects. You have chosen to make some... I was quite clear what I was looking for. So he doesn't want to go anymore. Okay, Koska accepts. So we can still go after Tyler Johnson. But he wants that term. He is hell-bent on getting that term. Oh, what if I pay him a little more money? I don't know how much cap space I have. Screw it. Let's just offer him this. I'm going to go with that one. And if it doesn't work out, I'm done playing around with Tyler Johnson. We gotta get a goalie now. We gotta go after. Sorry, I'm looking at RFAs. We gotta get a goalie. Is Elliott still on the board? He's still on the board, and we have the money. And like I said, we're gonna need a backup goaltender for the next couple. I'll go 3 years. Next couple of years for Carey Price. We're gonna need a backup goaltender. Elliott's 29. Yeah, I can go 3 years with Brian Elliott at 29 years old. Ooh, yeah, let's just advance the day, see what happens. So these guys are just waiting to see what their options are going to be, which is why they're not immediately getting back to me. I'm going to guess Tyler Johnson is going to be like, yeah, no, I'm done. I'm not wasting my time on this. So Elliott accepts. Johnson, it did accept, but it's not a done deal just yet. I'm not able to join your team at this time. My previous team may still decide to match your offer. Ooh, maybe we can get Tyler Johnson in here. This might be my first ever successful offer sheet as a general manager. Oh, how much cap space? No cap space right now. So, hold on. Does it say it down here? He did agree to the offer sheet. He did agree to it. It's just, we got to see if Tampa Bay matches. Can I see what kind of cap space Tampa Bay has since we're sitting here? And they have plenty of cap space to match that. They very well may match that offer sheet. And I'm going to just see how we're already into July 9th. So the more time I spend on the Tyler Johnson thing, the less time that I can get a nice depth winger in free agency. So we're going to simulate up a day. Let's just see what happens. Whoa, it's weird. It's like something popped up and then I didn't see anything and it just disappeared as soon as it popped up. Advance the day, and I knew they would match it. I knew that they would match the offer sheet. That was a pretty easy decision for Tampa Bay to match. So that means I have to go find a winger in free agency. Not a big deal. I just figured I would try the whole offer sheet thing. It's kind of fun. I really need I just need a good... Oh, I have 2.510 in cap space, by the way, because the offer sheet was matched by Tampa Bay. Drayson Bowman, Dustin Jeffrey. Is this the guy that was playing with the Penguins? I told you, I just need a good depth wing, so I'll go to Dustin Jeffrey, 1 year, 1.435. I can go up a little bit. It's 1 year. This contract will come off the books, but remember, I don't want to leave my hands too tied with a lack of cap space, so I still need to leave myself a little bit of cap space to work with should this contract get signed by Dustin Jeffrey. So much to focus on and process when it comes to doing contracts, and my brain gets fatigued. He did accept the offer, so there we go. We get Dustin Jeffrey in there. That's going to leave me with 2.295, and I should have signed everything that I need in terms of depth and whatnot, and we do leave ourselves with a little bit of cap space going into the season. We'll go all the way to the end of September. Well, that's it for the offseason. Thank God we got through that portion of things because I hate doing the off-season stuff. And I'm sure that some people may like watching the videos, but I hate doing it. And sometimes I guess the off-season videos can be boring. I can definitely understand it, but it's just part of the job that needs to get done. And it also is part of the story as to how we get to where we end up as well. So we're looking at 45 wins from the team this year. We'll see if we can do that. Just to recap our offseason, the biggest moves for us: PK Subban, long-term deal; Matt Duchene on a long-term deal. And we've got to do that scouting assignment because there's a couple more creative players that are going to be available to be drafted going into the Season 3 draft, which will be next offseason. So if I go over here to the OHL, are there any defensemen that I created? Did I create any players in the OHL? I don't think there's any players that I created for the OHL. They might be in the WHL as far as defensemen are concerned. No, I don't see any defensemen. So did all my defensemen get drafted in the first time around? I think all the defensemen that I created. I thought I created a German defenseman. I'm sorry, I'm so confused. Maybe it's not showing up because we haven't scouted anything yet as well. We haven't officially started the season. So maybe it just hasn't shown up because we haven't started anything yet. Let me see. Let me go through the different players. Forward wise, WHL. Let me sort this by potential. What about the OHL? Connor McDavid. Remember, we improved Connor McDavid. So Connor McDavid, I edited him to make him way better than he is in the game. And he's already pretty decent in the game, but I made him elite. So Ryan Precht is available. There's one of my created players. Ryan Precht, well, he's available to be scouted. Clark, is that Blake Clark? So that's a real guy. I didn't remember creating a player with the last name Clark. And yeah, that's it for forwards because we looked at the W and the O. Now the goaltenders. There's definitely goaltenders. Wapple. Also, he didn't get drafted, so he re-enters again. So he's going to re-enter the draft for the Season 2 draft. I did create goalies, but they're not showing up so far, and I think it's just because we haven't played any games and we haven't actually scouted anything. There's barely any prospects on this list, and we're at the end of September, so we haven't actually started October yet. That being said, let's just begin by scouting the WHL for 3 weeks. And I mean, I probably won't really bring the scouting assignment up too often. I may just edit this out in the future, but just since we're sitting here in the off season and this popped up, update the scouting assignment. I will be doing that throughout the season, I can guarantee you. Oh, and that's another thing. I can look at the trade block of other teams and see what players are on the trade block. We're sitting here right ahead of the preseason. I'm not going to sim anymore beyond this. I may sim beyond the preseason. I don't know what I'm going to do. I wanted to look and see. Well, let me look at this. I want to look at contracts and see what kind of cap space I got. So it's still that 2.295. And of course, before we round this video out, I do want to see progress reports and see what has been modified. Max Pacioretty, no modified attributes. Josh George's got worse. That's not good news for us. He dropped from an 86 to an 85. If I click on him, it will tell me what changed. Was it just one change? It was literally one change. Defensive awareness went from an 88 to an 87, and that knocked him down by 1 overall point. Is he the only change? No, Desharnais got worse, and he had 4 attributes modified. There's 1, there's 2, there's 3, and there's the 4th one. There it is, defensive awareness. Defensive awareness will really knock your overall rating up or down, depending on which way it goes. That one has a big effect on players in the game. So I don't see any Sukai Ming. And he's not available to be playing in the AHL yet because he's not old enough. So no attributes modified here. Now this may change as we get right up to the beginning of the season. Strawman got worse, but whatever. He's just depth for the A. They've got Gallagher down in the AHL to start with. Yeah, that's not going to be happening. Well, I'm about burned out on this. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm about burned out. I really would love to just sim past the preseason, but before I do that, I would like to get my lineup in order. This is the way that we look without me changing anything about the lineup or roster moves. Remember, Gallagher is in the AHL right now to start with. That won't be happening. And I just don't feel like playing around with all of that. I'm pretty tired and worn out just from sitting down and doing this portion of the video. So I do want to get this recording wrapped up so I can get it edited and eventually uploaded. There's the defense pairings. Everything looks kind of good from here, except I don't know that we're going to be running with Drewski. And as well, I haven't simmed into and beyond October, so I don't know. Yeah, it's going to be Price and Elliott in the net. So I don't know if any of these players got any better. Here's what I can do. Before we shut this video down, I can go back to contracts and see if Sukai Ming, for example, did he grow or do I have to sim further ahead to see if he's going to grow, is what I'm saying. Sort by overall rating. I just want to specifically find Sukai Ming. I don't see Sukai Ming. He's not on the main roster. He might be in the system. And there he is. So he's in this Canadian Hockey League right now. And I guess he will remain there. He's not NHL ready at this moment, and I don't think he will be to start the season. So that's a bit of a disappointment, because I was banking on Sukai Ming growing throughout the offseason. But now that we're right at the first game of preseason and he's remaining as what is he? Did I see a 68? 68 overall at 18. Yeah, he just needs another year in junior in order to grow. He's not NHL ready, unfortunately. I told you, my brain is about burned out sitting here doing this. I can't really think properly anymore. I need to save the recording for another time. Save doing all this analysis for another time where I can sit down and properly analyze players. But I can assure you, Brendan Gallagher is NHL ready. It's a good thing I did go out and sign a couple of depth players at forward. We barely have any cap space, but it's more than we had the whole of last season. Well, that reminds me. I need to see. It's under GM Tracker or GM. Yeah, it's under GM Tracker, I think. I got to go up here. Just bear with me for a moment, because somewhere in here, staff abilities, I got points to spend. Would I rather spend it on the amateur scout and get the? You know what? I'm just gonna upgrade the med staff. I don't have any money to spend on the amateur scout, but I want to make sure we have no injuries. Once you reach, what level is this? A level 4. Once you reach level 4 med staff, injuries are basically non-existent. So I don't want any injuries this year. I don't want to have to change any of that. So I'm going to upgrade the med staff. I'm out of juice for this. I really am. I'm out of juice for this video. We're right at preseason. To begin the next video, we'll do the preseason. We'll have the banner raising ceremony. We open up. It's perfect. It's perfect. We'll raise the banner against the Maple Leafs on home ice. It's going to be an amazing season number 2. We'll get into season number 2 in the next episode. Take a look at some players, potential trades, any way that we can make the roster better. We'll simulate through all of this season. Let me show the calendar. That's how we'll end the video. I'll show the calendar and the schedule for season 2. So obviously we open up on a Saturday night, hockey night in Canada at home against the Maple Leafs, raising the Stanley Cup banner. Oh, so sweet. And there's the whole rest of the schedule. So there's the month of October. I'll scroll down. There's the month of November, the month of December, the month of January, the month of February, the month of March, April, and that's it. We end the season on the 11th of April at home against the Buffalo Sabres. Hopefully this team will be into the playoffs this season. That's all I got for this video. Like I said, the burnout is real. I need to stop this video, get some editing done, and hopefully get it uploaded.